district level election. Tax evasion case, K. Ofori CEO exonerated. UPSA Honors First Lady Justice Bamford Ado Theodora Wood. And then leverage local capital for lithium, other minerals. Kwame PNM is speaking here. And second coming of Nkrumah 150 Pan-African cast and nuts vintage play.
Okay.
The Ghanaian Times says, Boko chieftaincy conflict, development, not war. VIP urges Kusau Mamprusis to end conflict. EC to hold district level elections in Jasikan, Guan districts December 19. MTTD rakes in 2 million cities in fines against 2,705 traffic offenders. And the speaker says strengthen existing anti-graft agencies.
Daily Guide this morning, Baumia preaches peace and Boko First Lady, 2 others honored. Backbin jabs OSP, AG to call 11 witnesses in Nam1 trial.
All right, the finder says Boko Naba bets on Baumia to use unifying qualities to end Boko conflict. I support ongoing talks to bring Alan back into NPP. That's according to Coca. Creation of OSP, an act in futility, according to the Right Honorable Alban Bagbin. And Majority Leader wants action on PAC reports. Plus, UPSA Honors Mrs. Rebecca Kufado, Joyce Bamfordado, and Georgina Theodora Wood.
Herald this morning, ex-cocoa research scientist discredits report against Litovith liquid fertilizer. Tells court it lacks merit and no input from Opuni Agongo. And Kofi Ansah Fuichikata shed more light on Ewuya lithium mining lease.
All right, the Chronicle also has the Vice President talking about conflicts in the northern parts of the country. Other stories, Abongo boys deployed for private guard duties is a question. Ajuingano residents petition CDS. Brandon Champon says peace is essential for Africa's development. And Nana being the 13th cut sword for ultramodern school complex for Ajidam.
The Ghanaian publisher, Ghana closer to 40% tertiary enrollment, education minister is speaking. Also has peace key to Africa's development from Brian Champong here. Baumia assures Boko Naba I will work towards Mamprusi Kusasi peace and First Lady, 2 others honored.
All right, the Daily Analyst says, let's promote upcoming local government elections. GJA to media. University administrators threaten strike over political interference. There's a donation story. The ECG donated some bikes to the police service. Okay. Some people do have issues with that. And then Eslawusu on the floor of Parliament, she's saying we should not criminalize sex toys. That's in relation to the anti-gay bill.
Republic Press this morning, OSP gets new judge in Cecilia Dapa case. Religious leaders rally against lithium deal as calls for renegotiation grow louder. And then Professor Jampo criticizes lithium extraction. And Dr. Baumia is speaking. He says, we've created a record 2.1 million jobs so far for the youth.
All right, the Inquisitor newspaper talks about the OSP and it says more documents to be leaked to create disaffection for Kisi Ejabing. So that's some of the stories. That's a story on the front page of the Inquisitor. The other one says Napo has no hand in lithium deal.
The custodian, years beep to create 20,000 more jobs. We don't need OSP to fight corruption. Speaker Backbin is speaking. MPP MP aspirants to pay 73,000 Ghana cedis, and you can bring peace to Boko. Naba Abugrago Azoka, the second, charges Dr. Baumia.
All right, finally for me, the Daily Post says, be the driving force behind Mahama's campaign. Lordina Mahama urges NDC Women's Wing. Ghana ranks first amongst African countries with high Chinese loans. That's according to the Daily Post. And Zoom Lions Irish Corps invokes African interest at COP28 in Dubai.
The Informer, we will make corruption costly and attractive, OSP declares as World Marks Anti-Corruption Day. Criminalizing LGBTQI plus activities, national interest paramount. This is Catholic Bishop speaking. And end bloodshed, less dialogue. Baumia appeals to Boko factions.
All right, let's take you online and do a few more headlines. Yeah. Joint calls to demand better lithium deal for Ghana. Sam Okujeto tells Ghanaians. Yeah. Also, I dream of Ghana having a female president. This is the first lady. Couples use St. John Hospital and Fertility Center for 5 million cedis over alleged negligence, and then don't relent in corruption fight, majority to OSP. Meanwhile, NMC boss says inappropriate content, we may pardon remorseful channels, according to George Sapong. If you go to Major Online, what does he want the press to do for him? Aiko Kwesi special prosecutor. Meanwhile, anti-LGBT bill, not necessarily seeking to imprison people. This is Roxanne Dafa Mekpo. And then a few more stories on OSP. It won't be in the interest of any party to scrap the OSP. Inu Safuseni says so. Meanwhile, on illegal mining, 2 policemen, 8 others arrested at Joabuso for Galamsey. If you go to a few more headlines on Star FM, be the driving force behind Mohammed's campaign, Lordina to NDC Women's Wing. Parliament approves 149 million CD for OSP. And Otunfo distills Kwaprahine for double sale of lands. Meanwhile, contractors abandon new Eastern Regional Hospital site over unpaid funds. So they have run away from the site and left the things there. The First Lady's comment is also on Class FM's homepage. My dream is to see Ghana have a female president. And then Central Bank is likely to buy more gold in 2024. There's a very interesting article on your team. Bottom and rotten. Reaction as Man United go out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
There's a bottom
and rotten.
I tell you. I'll just give you a few headlines from across the continent. So Kenya is planning Dumso, or they are calling it rolling blackouts to guard their power system after power cuts.
I see.
Their grid is under stress. Former Credit Suisse CEO is seeking to be Cote d'Ivoire's opposition leader. Yeah, he's called Tijani Thiam. They have a big primary on the 16th, and it's likely that if he wins, he could challenge for the presidency at the highest. Meanwhile, South Africa is also planning for more nuclear power to ease their own version of Dumso. So there's Dumso in Kenya, there's Dumso in South Africa, and then there's a lot of fighting in Sudan as well. Let's get into the details.
Well, talking about fighting, page 11 of the Ghanaian Times talks about the Boku chieftaincy conflict. Now, the vice president is there, and he is urging Mamprusis and Kusasis involved in a chieftaincy dispute in Boku to cease hostilities and forge together in unity for the sustainable development of the area. The 2 factions have been involved in a chieftaincy dispute that has caused the loss of lives and property, as well as disruption of economic and social activities. Dr. Baumia visited the town yesterday to meet with the chiefs and people of the area, where he appealed to the feuding factions to come together because, quote, you are fundamentally the same people. And
so many angles to that story. The other one is the Bokunabas sort of appeal to Baumia to do what he has to do.
Yes, that's on page 2 of the Finder. And he says Bokunamba bets on Baumia, the overlord of the Kusao traditional area in the Upper East region. Naba Asigri Abugrago Azoka II has voiced his confidence in the leadership abilities of the vice president, expressing optimism for a peaceful and prosperous Ghana under his presidency. Now, he was speaking during a visit by the vice president. A speech read on the overlord's behalf conveyed high expectations for Dr. Baumia's potential impact on the prolonged Boku conflict.
All right.
There are several stories on the OSP.
Yes.
In the Informer, we will make corruption costly and attractive. OSP declares as World Max Anti-Corruption Day. Here he says there is corruption everywhere. Corruption knows no borders, is not tied to specific persons, race, color, or continent. However, what universally proves effective is the prevention of the corrupt from operating with impunity. So this is Informer. Now, the Daily Guide is reporting Backbin Jabs OSP. Story by Ernest Kofi Edu says lawmakers sat in stunned silence and gasped as the Speaker of Parliament, Alban S.K. Bagbin, said that the establishment of the OSP was a futile exercise. The House was doing the consideration of the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill when the OSP indicated that when the Speaker indicated that the OSP will achieve no results in the fight against corruption. He argued that the best way out to fight corruption is to decouple the office of the Attorney General.
Let's give the
from
background.
Justice,
Parliament approves 149 million cedi budget for OSP.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the basis for all of this discussion. And I don't think the speaker jabbed the OSP as a person. He was talking more about the office.
The office,
Now, there are two more stories. The majority, still on the floor of parliament, speaking to the deputy leader, urged the OSP not to relent in his fight against corruption.
Yeah.
That was Apenyo Makin saying that he used to be defense counsel, it's not prosecution. He should not worry about the losses. Then we also have Aikwe Otu, former SP, speaking to Umaru Sanda on Eyewitness News. He says, basically, stay out of the press, do what you have to do, appeal, and just get it done. So those are the stories on the OSP. But the substantive story is that he has received 149 million cedis for activities for the 2024 fiscal year. And speaking during the approval, ranking member for the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Bernard Ahia, for questioning the low budgetary allocation to the office and the seeming lack of institutional support. This is what triggered all of that debate.
In the meantime, Bernard, the OSP gets new judge in Cecilia Dapa's case. Details of the story on Republic Press. Justice Nana Brew has been appointed as the new judge in the case involving Special Prosecutor's request to freeze accounts and seize properties belonging to former Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Abner Dapa. This change in judgeship is not believed to be directly connected to the petition filed by the Special Prosecutor for the removal of the previous judge, Justice Edward Chum. The case has attracted attention since the arrest of Dapa on suspicion of corruption and corruption-related offences.
Other group of stories has to do with lithium, and I think that there are a couple of things. The latest is Sam Okujeto, a very respected lawyer in Ghana, speaking at the IEA yesterday. He's saying he doesn't think the deal in this current form is good for Ghana.
Yeah.
So the lead story from Citi Newsroom says a member of the Council of State, Sam Okujeto, has joined calls for the government to reconsider its lithium mining deal with Berari BV. Now he says the current deal is not in the best interest of the country, and he says government must listen to the views of Ghanaians. Here's a quote: "The lithium agreement is not in the best interest of Ghana. That's my view. And if you all agree with me, let's make a statement in support of the IEA to say that we do not think the agreement is in the best interest of Ghana." Then the two co-authors of the article trying to sort of clarify some of the points around the deal and also criticize the IEA's position, Kofi Ansah and Fuichi Kata, have released a part 2 of their write-up, seeking to further clarify their views on the development. Now, they actually then agree with Bryce Simmons' proposal for a sliding scale formula for increasing royalty rates. They also support the idea of the government having the option to increase its equity interest in the mining company. And then the issue of developing a sort of what's called like a model for managing our extractives in a more holistic way. They also support that. So they've sort of added more information, but they are not opposed to the deal necessarily in its present form. Then the last one, the minister himself is insisting that the deal is still in the best interest of Ghana. Still on citynewsroom.com, the lands minister, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, is insisting that Ghana's lithium deal with Atlantic Lithium remains the best deal for the country. He was speaking to Bloomberg in an interview. So that's a wrap on lithium.
But the AG is... Nathan, please come.
Yeah.
Right. So the AG is to call 11 witnesses in Namwan's trial. Story by Jibril Abdul Razak, and it says the Office of the Attorney General would be calling 11 witnesses as it pushes to secure a conviction of the trial of the Chief Executive Officer of defunct Men's Gold Ghana Limited, Nana Appiah Mensah Namwan, and 2 of his companies for defrauding its customers. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Yvonne Atako Obo Bisa, yesterday told the High Court in Accra that some of the witnesses would need 4 hours for their evidence in chief, while some would need just about 40 minutes. Kwame Akufo, counsel for the accused, indicated he would need 30 minutes in cross-examining the first 10 witnesses, but would need an hour to cross-examine the case investigator. So Namwan and 2 of his companies, Men's Gold Ghana Limited and Brew Marketing Consort Ghana Limited, are facing 39 counts of defrauding by false pretense, inducing members of the public to invest, and money laundering.
Let's come to the Chronicle.
Page 3 of the Chronicle, and it says Abongo boys deployed for private guard duties. The question. Now, the story says aggrieved residents on the Numo Gozi Avenue near Ability Square at Adjuingano in the Adentan municipality have petitioned the Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama, over the use of soldiers for private guard duty. Over the use of soldiers for private guard duties in the area. Now, the petition written on their behalf by their lawyers, Dalrymple Hayfron Law Consult, and copied to the police and others, said while there was a pending suit against Lotus Garden and Event Center at the High Court about noise pollution, it was imperative that the Ghana Armed Forces' attention was drawn to the order that falls directly under the CDS's control. And they go on to list. So they've actually quoted or published the full petition written on behalf of residents on the Numogozi Avenue. So they want the CDS to intervene and sort out this matter.
All right, a couple of stories to bring you. There's a story on Star FM. Contractors abandon New City Regional Hospital over unpaid funds, with a photo of the New City Regional Hospital in Koforidua. The project is facing a setback as contractors Ellipse Projects and Trillium have abandoned the construction site due to non-payment by the government. Financial challenges, including delayed payments for work and other Agenda 111 projects, is the cause of the financial predicament of the construction company. Subcontractors such as Lambert Electricals and Glow Engineering, responsible for electrical installations and plastering, respectively, have ceased their activities at the site. Workers have been laid off. First phase of the 285 out of 600-bed hospital project, initially set for end of December this year, is now at a standstill. They actually interviewed Dr. Akwa Kotoampao, who recently appealed for government intervention to ensure the timely completion of the project.
Bernard, NPP MP aspirants will be paying 73,000 Ghana cedis. So this story is by Che Boateng. The governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, has announced that parliamentary aspirants in constituencies with incumbent members of parliament MPs would pay a non-refundable fee of 73,000 Ghana cedis to contest. In preparation for the upcoming January 27, 2024 parliamentary primaries, the NPP General Secretary, Mr. Justin Kodua Frimpong, issued guidelines for the polls. He indicated that nomination forms will be available for purchase at 3,000 Ghana cedis, and aspirants are required to pay a non-refundable filing fee of 35,000 Ghana cedis. In addition to the filing fee, aspirants in the 137 constituencies covered by the guidelines are also obligated to pay a non-refundable development fee of 40,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow. Now, the LGBTQ thing is in the news as well. Roxanne Dafiamepo was speaking on Parliament yesterday. He says the bill does not necessarily seek to imprison people. And then there's also the views of the Catholic bishops, which has been put out. And then the communication minister is also saying that that bill should not criminalize the use of sex toys. But I wanted to end the local segment quickly with a story on Galamsey. It came yesterday. 10 persons, including 2 policemen, have been arrested by the Rapid Response Unit of the Forestry Commission in Joabuso District in the Western North region. They include 4 Chinese nationals identified as Men Yu 30, Wen Yongcheng 30, Wen Fulin 58, and Li Ping 60. You got the name too. Men Yu 30, Wen Yongcheng 30, Wen Fulin 58, and then Li Ping 60. And then there are 4 Ghanaian collaborators.
There were older people who could have been advising the younger ones.
The 58 and the 60-year-old were mentoring. And then you have Edward Owusu 25, Kwesi Frank 42, Abudu Dramani 41, and Joe Naburi 27. The 2 police officers are Detective Sergeant Yaya Andrews and Lance Corporal Azantilo. Believed to be protecting them, were also arrested at the mining site inside the forest reserve. During interrogation, they now... Charlie, it's just serious. It's terrible. Now, just a final story. The US president says that Israel is losing global support over the Gaza bombing, and this is a first direct comment criticizing the action of the Israelis. US President Joe Biden has said Israel is starting to lose global support over its indiscriminate bombing of Gaza. And whilst that was said, UN demands ceasefire in Gaza as Israel and US show increasing division. So those are the stories for the morning. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Bernard. Now, my friend Gifty Mamle Akute Kuma is turning 40 today. So happy birthday to Gifty. It's an amazing person.
Joanna, you are sleeping. Your
Yama.
bend this into our...
Yama.
That hamper, I'll take it from you.